Sway Street to the world. It's time to bleed green now, you heard?
With your host.
What's the word? It's Andre of Shamrock, Shogun here. Thank you for tuning in.
Your go-to Celtics podcast for the right vibes.
What's the word? It's Andre of Shamrock, Shogun podcast. And this time we're going to be talking about a few things the Celtics have been going through these past few games that have, I don't know, it's a little dodgy, but I do want to speak on it. The hot topic right now is if Anfernee Simons should be playing more. And what's the mystery behind his play time? Sometimes he goes from 17 minutes a game to 26. And look, I know he has his rough patches. I know that there's moments where he's minus, he doesn't have a plus positive. But, there's room for improvement. I think he's on a new team, and I think within the freestyle play that they have on the Celtics, speaking of freestyle play, I think there's a lot that Joe Mazzulla still has to learn. The 6 games of the season showcase the ability to adapt as a team. However, the rotational aspect is something I think Joe Mazzulla is struggling with. Like, I remember when he started, he was reluctant to call his timeout while the other team had a 20-point comeback or in a late game situation. He just let the ball go. And I'm just like, what is it's too much freestyle when it comes to Joe Mazzulla. And I think he calculates the stats because, again, he's reluctantly throwing up threes. And I don't think any coach should allow 38 plus, threes a game. I think that's I know we're in a new age of three-pointer this, three-pointer that, but that's too much jacking up threes, especially when we're not the best team. The Celtics aren't the best team right now when it comes to, shooting up threes. And of course, he eventually got better, though, over time. The situation, luckily, because people around him were more vocal about that, and it stuck. But I think rotation is a big factor right now, killing the Celtics and contributing to the losses. Again, it's a new team with people who are better at one thing than others. For instance, you got Lou Garza, who's good at the pick and roll and the offensive rebounds. You have Anfernee Simons, who is just pretty much a microwave three-point shooter to a mid-range. He can get you points off the bat. You got Derek White, who's more of a facilitator of, I'm going to say, defensively, he facilitates on the defense, and offensively, he facilitates to get people on the team. I think he's more of a defensive side now with this new, the issue still continues, but he's not as effective as he used to be, But yeah, there's just a bunch of people, and it's a Chinese jigsaw puzzle. But the pieces are there. My confusion still with the Anfernee Simons and Payton Pritchard starting rotation. Before we showcase the differences, let me just say that Payton Pritchard is an amazing basketball player. I love his handles. I like how he plays the game. I know he has a lot of energy, and I like Anfernee Simons as well. No downplaying both of them. However, when it comes to crucial moments, I am very confused why Joe Mazzulla takes Anfernee out when he has a good to exceptional game for us. And I'm talking about taking off 10 points, shaving off 10 points for the other team to call a timeout because he's just going off. He starts off hot. Anfernee had 25 points 2 games ago, 23 points in 8 minutes. Why take him out? Why? I'm so confused. Joe Mazzulla really has to answer that. There's no way. I want people to speak on this. I don't know if the media has gone up to him and asked him, what's up with the rotational? What's going on? I know they asked if Anfernee's okay, and he says, I'll do whatever for the team. But that's what every person says. Dennis Schroeder had the same thing to say. And Malcolm Brogdon, of course, he was frustrated. He didn't tell nobody, but definitely he was frustrated. But then again, there you go. 23 points in 8 minutes. The game prior against the 76ers that just passed, Anfernee had 17 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. Payton Pritchard had 5 points with 3 assists and 3 rebounds. Now, the game before that, the one where Anfernee scored 23 points in 8 minutes, Payton Pritchard had 5 points. I don't know. I understand that the Celtics like to put their players who've been there for years, who've they've invested in terms of money, contract, promises. I understand that. However, and I really don't hope they trade Anfernee Simons, because this doesn't make any sense. Like, nothing's wrong with being a sixth man. It's better than being just a role player off the bench who gets, 17, 15 minutes. You're still getting 26 to maybe 28 minutes a game. But undoubtedly, nothing's wrong with being an energizer for a team when it's needed. I think Pritchard has made his mark on that front. I think he is known for the six-man role. Not just because he was sixth man of the year, but I think him coming off the bench, knowing when to attack as the other team is less energized, a little more fatigued, when to dish it out for the second energetic Celtic on the floor, or just him going off, specifically soloing, one-on-ones, isolation, how to facilitate when the team needs morale and give starters hope that they can just rest without coming back in sooner when needed. Like, just, how, Tatum, you see him on the little little bike, or somebody else needs to get stretched because, an injury or whatever. That's what I'm saying. There's nothing wrong with being a six man. There's nothing wrong with being a person technically on the bench who gives people energy. I think Jordan Clarkson of the Knicks right now is pretty much a role player, but he has his moments of just going off. And that is okay, because at the end of the day, every point, every part, every roster is important in their own way. And that's what builds this team to get W's. It is what it is. Now, again, you can go about it and say, maybe that's a little bit hypocritical, because if it's all about what matters and the W and da-da-da, then why should somebody start? My thing is this. If somebody should start, it should be the one putting their best foot forward. The one that can actually start it strong, kind of like a Jaylen Brown, where for a fact if you give Jaylen Brown the ball, he's going to get it to the basket either way. That's why he's a star player in the Celtics. That's why he's a star player in the league. However, can you say that about Payton Pritchard? Again, I don't have any problems with that. I don't have any problems with Payton Pritchard. Fantastic player. Again, fantastic player. However, can I say that for him as Payton Pritchard could be an all-star? There's questions there. Do you think Anfernee Simons could be an all-star? I think so. He's closer. I think in that regards, he's closer. He has more veteran experience. He started for a team. He gave Portland a fighting chance in certain games when you had Jeremy Grant, when you had a few people out. But again, you still got to perform for your team. And I think, of course, Celtics are not going to talk about it, but I think they should when it comes to, things are just behind the scenes. They don't want to, show face and show that everything might be a problem. Something might be deteriorating or anything like that. But I'm looking at the pictures of Anfernee Simons in Portland happy. But when he came to the Celtics, all I've been seeing is either frowns or a worried face. And that's my problem. I've seen a lot of that happening. Malcolm Brogdon seemed like when he came to the Celtics, it might have been the same situation. Again, but he was smiling more. But look how that ended. He was disgruntled to the point where it kind of annexed him. He retired recently, which sucks because I think Malcolm Brogdon can still facilitate a team. His injuries, of course, is an issue, but I still believe he has enough in him to still be on a team right now. Kind of like a Jabari Parker. Because what happened to Jabari when he came to the Celtics? Is there an annexing of players when they come to the Celtics that go to different teams. And I pray that it's not like that. I pray that it's not like that. But I've got to say this. If it's not Simons, why not start Jordan Walsh, who's been exceptional on defense, by the way. And when it's dire, he delivers. No ifs, ands, or buts. That man gets it from the jump. I like how he plays. I've always liked his game. I always thought defensively he puts the pressure on any person. Kind of close to not a Marcus Smart. I'll say more like a Tony Allen. I'd praise him more up to that level. I think he makes the smart plays. I think he does the smart things. I think he hustles more than Marcus Smart did. In my opinion. I know at the time when Marcus Smart was here, he was fantastic. No, I will not bash that man's credibility when it comes to being one of the defensive starters for the Celtics. He started because of his defense. Do I think he deserved that role? Not necessarily. However, I believed as a point guard, there's more to the game. Because again, if I know this is a dumb hypothetical, but if Russell Westbrook was on the Celtics right now, with the way he's playing right now, with all his assists, his rebounds, Russell Westbrook is a facilitator. That's a point guard to me. I think going back to the old school of facilitation, we need a facilitator. We still need people that do amazing plays, has the eyes to see like a freaking hawk on that court, bro, just to pass the ball in dire situations, because a pass can do anything. The right pass can do anything. No more of that freestyle, like, bro, run some plays, have a point guard facilitate those plays, and just do damage. Make them smart. Study, do the homework, review, watch how a player plays before the game plays. You feel me? That's just my opinion. But I think maybe Jordan Walsh should actually have a shot. I would actually put Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jordan Walsh, and keep the two, Josh Minot starting and Neemias Queta. I think that would be a good team. Because again, at least I know for a fact, because Jordan Walsh, I'm not sure of his shooting capabilities, but I do know that he hustles. But when it comes to when the shot counts, he seems like the type of person that throws it down. I think he deserves more of a shot. Because again, it seems like the bench players, and again, prior to those, the bench players, including Anfernee that day, of him scoring 23 points, of Jordan Walsh going in on on the Orlando Magic in order to get us that win. I'm not saying that Payton Pritchard can't do it, because I've seen him do it. He's done it against Orlando. He scored 27 points, I believe. I think he scored 27 points. Though facilitation was rough, offensively he was a factor in the paint. You know, with his little step back and all that stuff. It's nice. It's nice. But I think that there's more to this to the team than just. There's more to the team than just like the seniority complex, like the seniority Celtic complex. We don't need to do that anymore. I think when I hope they don't trade Simons. Please don't trade him. He's fantastic. He's gonna get better on defense. He's gonna learn how to watch him facilitate the ball. Again, 5 assists. 5 assists. Played 26 minutes. 17 points. 3 of 8 from the 3. 4 rebounds. He went to the paint. 4 free throws. Give him time. Let him learn the Celtics system. I mean, there is kind of none, but you know what I mean. There's a Celtics system that they play. And the moment that they start being cohesive enough to work together, I guess, in a way where Anfernee knows how Jaylen plays, where he can get the ball, where's his best shots, where's Neemias' best shots, rather than just jacking up the freaking alley-oop every 5 seconds. There's different plays that people can do. And I think Neemias should really do a lot of work on his step back in the paint. I think he could do a lot of that. I think he would be fantastic for that. But yeah, Celtics is going to be playing a little bit later. I just want to make this a short one, probably 15 minutes. But Celtics are going to be playing later against who are they playing against? Playing the Grizzlies today. We're going to be playing. John Morant should be in today. Before we go, actually, let's talk about these rumors. They say John Morant coming to the Celtics. I'm hearing a lot of that. I'm hearing a lot of Zach LaVine to the Celtics. Apparently, they're trading. The Mavs are trading because of the guy that just got fired, the GM, Nico. Completely fired. They let him go. So they believe. People are saying Anthony Davis should come to the Celtics. No, I'm good. I believe we're a good team right now. I don't think we should tamper too much. We do need a center, but I don't think I don't think Anthony Davis is the best fit for the Celtics. If it were me, it's kind of tough. I see DeRozan as well. All I know is if the Celtics get another star and Jason Tatum comes back during the playoffs, we're going to win another championship. We're going to get another championship. However, I don't know who they would go for at this sense, but I know we need someone big. I heard Vucevic is balling out. I heard Julius Randle's balling out. Try it out. What? Are they in? I don't even know if they're technically in rebuild mode. I think they're probably contending, the Timberwolves. But I think someone in that sense probably be good for the Celtics. I would actually, maybe even Rudy Gay. If they're trying to get rid of Rudy Gay, I would go for him. We need someone that can rebound. We need a little bit of defense in the smarter sense. I think Rudy, though his time of, I guess, his defensive reign or whatever is over, I think there'd still be something there for him to offer. And I can definitely see Rudy Gay in the Celtics. Rudy Gay, I'm sorry. Rudy Gobert, what am I saying? I'm sorry, guys. Rudy Gobert, send him to the Celtics. Rudy Gay, I'm thinking about. Wow. Anyways, I think there are going to be a lot of speculations about who's going to get traded. Of course, from the Celtics, I can only see two people. Maybe Sam Hauser, maybe Anfernee Simons. I'd be surprised if it's Derek White or Payton Pritchard, but I wouldn't. Who would you rather keep? Payton Pritchard or Derek White? Because I'd say Derek White. I would say Derek White. We get cooked. Maxey cooks Pritchard every time. You can move him. I seen Jordan Walsh was actually covering Maxey every few seconds. Look, you can rotate, but we need a point guard that can actually at least keep his own just a little bit on those offensive ends, but defensive ends, excuse me. But yeah, that's it for this episode 8. This is Andre, Shamrock Shogun podcast. Have a good one. Take care. Leave a comment. Talk. I'll talk back with you. We can debate. Blessings and take care.